How many here are working for a distribution company? Nobody, I bet, right? Nobody. One person, and you had to plead to let them give you the time off. Talk about a thin margin business. Distribution is about as thin as you can get and still stay in business, and what it does is it either creates a certain deadness, no one wants to take a risk, or it, as Alistair said, it starts to be a real kick in the pants. I was lucky to be the CIO for a company that got that kick in the pants. And our big customer at the time, they were a great customer, and they were very demanding, as they had a right to be. So I'll tell some stories about that. But before we get into that, here's how we'll break up this 30 minutes. First, how is the business landscape changing, and where is that taking us, and how does big data fit into that? And then I'll segue into the story. So where we start right now is we're into this new century, but we're only in the first, well, we're now in the second decade of this century, but we still, for the most part, are thinking about what happened in the last century, and the new century is only beginning to make itself felt. One of the ways that it's making itself felt is that we have to do something more than be efficient. Being efficient is good. I'm not saying that it's bad, but I am saying that merely efficient will not be a success formula for any business anymore. What's going on now is the whole world is so unpredictable. It's all interconnected. All this telecom, all these real-time social media connections, it makes the whole world act like a stock market. Very volatile, hard to predict, and therefore efficiency is no longer what it once was, because we forget the last century, the industrial age, was a world where products actually had life cycles measured in years. And what is the life cycle of your average electronic gadget right now? 6 months, 8 months if you push it, right? So the whole notion of optimizing your supply chain is good, but don't get crazy about it, because your supply chain will change every 6 to 8 months. And if you have locked yourself down into an optimal supply chain today, in 8 months, you will be optimally driving off a cliff. And a case in point is a fine Chicago company, and I like to root for the hometown team, but this company at one time, a mere 10 or 12 years ago, owned the world market in mobile phones. We know who we're talking about now? They have sold what little remains of their mobile phone business to a startup. I can't remember that startup's name. They came out of nowhere. And this company, the hometown team, had engineers, some of the best engineers in the world. They probably, right up until the bitter end, made the highest quality, lowest cost cell phone in the world, and nobody really cared about it. And it is a case in point to think about when you start discussing efficiency. If you are not moderating your efficiency with responsiveness, you will die.